My name is Anthony Austin, and I am the Chief Financial Officer of Anytown University, located in Detroit, Michigan. Today, I will be discussing the enrollment and the financial status of the university. I will also be presenting new approaches that may strengthen the financial status of the university for future. Before I dive into my presentation, I would like to take this time to personally thank the president of the university as well as the Board of Regents for allowing me to serve in such a great capacity, as well as all the faculty, staff, and students that make up this great university. It is with pleasure that I serve the university, and I'm confident that at the end of this presentation, you will have a better understanding of how Anytown University is funded and how those funds apply to enrollment, staffing and development, employment, and the upkeep of the university. In the last 3 years, we have experienced a major decrease in student enrollment at Anytown University. This decrease has a major effect on the financial state of the university. We are in the process of investigating the causes for the decrease and creating strategies that will rapidly boost student enrollment. Student enrollment is a vital part of the university, as the funding comes from tuition dollars. So it's important that we keep students here so that we can continue to receive funds for higher education. According to the National Student Clearinghouse Research Center, both undergraduate and graduate fall term enrollment declined by 1.4% across the United States. This drop does represent a 1.59 million student decrease compared to 20.6 million in 2011 when enrollment was at its peak. In order for Anytown to receive those funds, we have to attack the enrollment issue. This is a very big deal for us, so we have to attack this issue in order to keep receiving those funds. A decrease in enrollment can be caused by many different factors. In our case, the causes are unknown as of right now because we are in the beginning stages of our investigation. However, I want to assure you that we are doing everything that we can to make sure that all stakeholders are aware of the current circumstances. Because of this decrease, we have had to make several adjustments throughout our campuses. So we've had to decrease some programmings or some organizations so that we can keep the funds flowing for our students, because that's our main focus. Because student enrollment is an integral part of the university, I want to take a few moments and address some of the issues that affect student enrollment at large. One factor that affects student enrollment is the cost for paying for college. There was a recent study conducted by Southern New Hampshire's University's president, Paul LeBlanc, in 2017, which is this current year. It's not that he states that it's not that students don't want to go to college or don't like to go to college, but that students cannot afford college. They think they can't afford to go to a college because of that fear of being in debt, or the fear of they don't want to pay out of pocket. This element is very prevalent among many colleges and universities across the nation, where students have that fear of, I don't want to graduate with a whole lot of debt. I want to get a college education, but the lifetime debt is not worth it. In my opinion, students who are afraid of the cost of college are more likely to join the workforce rather than go to college. Now, this is not, to me, this is my opinion, so I'm not going to say that it's factual, but I think that students who are afraid to go to college usually join the workforce to stay out of debt. So that's one thing. A drop in enrollment can have a major impact on the stability of higher education as a whole. I believe that students would be more interested in going to college if they knew the financial services and monies that were available to them. That's exactly why I'm here today to really discuss the financial status of our university and to make sure that our students know that they can afford college with the help of assistance. And that brings me to my next point, university funding. Most colleges and universities are funded or operated by many sources of funding. These funds come from state, federal, as well as private entities. Anytown University is a research university. Therefore, the majority of our funds come from the federal government rather than state and private entities. Like most research universities, the federal funds come in the form of research grants to fund the various research campaigns that many other colleges or the academic departments propose. So that money covers anything that's around research, which is what we do. The federal government spends billions of dollars, I mean billions of dollars, in funding research universities across the United States. According to a recent study by the Federal and State Funding of Higher Education, there was a study that said that the federal government spent nearly $76 billion on higher education alone, while states spent about $3 billion less. So it's not that much of a difference, but the federal government spends more money in funding higher education than state and private. The federal supported include nearly $25 billion in research funding obligations, which are paid over a series of years, depending on the length of a research project. Now, when the federal government sends those funds to the university, these funds are then released to the students in the form of student financial aid. Like most universities, in order for students to receive that aid, they have to fill out and submit a FAFSA or a free application for federal student aid. So that's just a short version, FAFSA. This application will determine the amount of money a student can borrow each year for both undergraduate and graduate study. Students can have their application sent to several colleges and universities at once or at their choice. Whatever college they want, they can send the application to various colleges because it's just the application. Once a student is accepted into an institution, the funds will be sent to the university and issued or applied to their account. Now, before a student can receive those funds, the student must go through entrance counseling. This is a very important stage when borrowing federal funds, or borrowing funds in particular. That's where you sign your promissory notes. You read all those documents, signed documents, and things like that. Now, the interest counseling is designed to inform the recipients of their borrowing options, guidelines, as well as repayment guidelines and repayment options. Okay, those are those stipulations. You'll learn about those. Now, following the counseling, funds will pay for the student's tuition, usually one semester at a time. So they're only given one semester, not two. After a student finishes a semester, then the next set of funds will be applied to that following semester. The fund will be in the form of these options can range from Stafford loans to Perkins loans to Pell Grants. Although this is a great way to fund college students, must understand the importance of borrowing federal funds. So that this is important information. Now, the first type of funding I'm going to talk about are student loans. There are two most common types of loans, and those that the federal government issues to students. Those are subsidized loans and unsubsidized loans. Unsubsidized student loans are available for students who have expressed hardship or high financial need. Subsidized loans are only offered to undergraduate students. When a student applies for a subsidized loan, their loan amount is determined by the cost of attendance minus family contributions and other financial plans or services. Now, students that borrow subsidized loans should remember these two important facts. Number one, subsidized loans have better terms and interest rate than unsubsidized student loans. The U.S. Department of Education pays your interest while you're in school. Therefore, you have until 6 months after graduation to pay that loan back. And that period of time is called a grace period to pay those loans back. The second loan type is unsubsidized loans. Now, unsubsidized loans work just a little bit different. The difference is that unsubsidized loans are available for both undergraduate and graduate students. Second, the loans are not based on financial need. However, the loan repayment schedule is the same as subsidized loans. Now, the most common types of subsidized and unsubsidized loans are the Stafford and Perkins loans. These are the common loans that you can use to pay for college. The federal government also issues other types of loans such as the Parent Plus loan, Graduate Plus loan, and the Direct Consolidation loan. So if you're looking to consolidate some debt, you can use these loans to consolidate that debt. So make sure, and one important fact about borrowing the Parent Plus loan. Now, the Parent Plus loan, when a parent actually applies for a loan, if they get denied, this loan automatically rolls to the student. So I would urge all students apply for that, or to get your parents to apply for the Parent Plus loan. So if they get denied, it rolls automatically to you. Now, the next type I'm going to talk about are grants. Grants work a little bit different than loans do. When a student receives a grant, they do not have to pay that grant back. So that's an important fact. I tried to, when I was in college, to apply for as many grants as I could because I know that money don't have to be paid back. Grants are offered by state, federal, and private institutions. Grants are offered merit-based, need-based, or student-specific. The three most common types of grants are Pell Grants, the Federal Supplemental Education Opportunity Grants, the Teach Grants, and the Iraq and Afghanistan Service Grants. Now, Pell Grants are usually awarded to students who are pursuing a bachelor's degree. So this grant is usually for undergraduate students only. Those who are pursuing a bachelor's degree, not the graduate level, but bachelor's degree or associate's degree. The amount of money a student receives from the Pell Grant is dependent on the student's financial need and the school's cost of attendance and other factors. So this Pell Grant, especially, is for students who need that extra income flow or that extra money to boost their financial aid package, especially if they want to take extra courses for a semester. Now, the Federal Supplemental Education Opportunity Grants are for students that express high financial need. These funds are provided by participating institutions. These are specific to different universities. So some universities may offer them, some universities may not. But if you express high financial need, I would urge you to apply for this type of grant. And you don't have to pay it back, so that's a great thing. Now, the Teach Grants are for individuals who are looking to become teachers and teach in high needs areas. In order to receive this grant, recipients must commit to teaching in a given area or for a specific period of time. And it's also for people who are coming from other industries and are looking to teach. This will be a perfect opportunity to apply for this grant because it will support you in your endeavor to become a teacher. The next one is the Iraq-Afghanistan Service Grants are awarded to students who have parents who have served in the military and have died in Iraq or Afghanistan. So when we are over there in Iraq and Afghanistan, if your parents died while serving, you can apply for this grant. You will be the perfect recipient for this grant. Now, do understand the grants that I have listed are those that are given by the federal government. This is not reflective of the grants that are offered by state and private institutions. Like, I could not name all those grants because it's so many. Now, the type of or amount of money for each grant can vary depending on the situation. So, keep in mind that grants are a great opportunity to fund for college and monies that you don't have to pay back. Now, the next one is scholarships. Scholarships work the same as grants. They are not required to be paid back. Scholarships are usually offered by individual institutions and private organizations. They are awarded based on a number of factors such as academic performance, athletic ability, religious affiliation, and race, among others. In order to receive these funds, many students are required to write essays. So if you're looking to write to apply for a scholarship, you may have to write an essay depending on the scholarship. Now, most essays you have to write about or describe what you plan to use the funds for. If you're looking to go into nursing, you can say, you know, these funds are to fund my nursing program because I'm looking to increase life or help people who are sick. So that'd be a perfect opportunity to write on what you look forward to doing with those funds. Now, the last funding option is work-study program. A work-study program is a program where students can work and earn money that pays for their tuition. So, if you're looking for a job, you could apply for work study. Now, the only thing about work study is that when you apply for work study, the funds that you make are not for your leisure. They're going to be applied to your financial aid. So this is going to pay down debt as you're working so that your debt can increase. This is not money that's going to be given to you so that you can go out and spend. This money is specifically to pay for your college. Now, the work-study programs provide federally funded on-campus jobs for students. However, these funds do not pay for jobs outside of the university. You have to work on campus so that that money that you earn will be placed immediately into your student account. So, but you're working to pay down that debt. So, there's a sense of responsibility for that one. So you're working to pay down debt, which is a great opportunity. Now, it is important for students to know their funding options. All of these packages are available to students. You just have to get the education and you have to go out there. Apply for as many, I would say apply for as many grants as you can because you don't have to pay those back. I would urge you to. Now, although we have these federal funds available at Anytown University, it would not be enough to fund higher education, as we are seeing cuts in the federal government and by state entities. So we have to come up with better options to fund our educational systems. Now, as Chief Financial Officer, I want to propose a new approach to financial aid. This new funding approach will be called the Promise Financial Aid Package. The Promise Financial Aid Package will consist of funds from the various professions offered at the university. For example, if a student is looking forward to going into nursing, their financial aid package or the funds will be from the different health systems that are partnered with the university. So if you're looking to go into the nursing program, the funds will come from different hospitals or different health institutions that have partnered with the university or partnered with the nursing program. Now, this new approach will provide students with funds at a fixed rate. This will allow students to take as many courses as they desire as long as they are connected to a degree program. This will also strengthen the partnerships that the university has with the workforce. Now, this new financial aid package will also give the university an opportunity to help students strengthen their experience so they'll be able to work in their specific areas. This will provide students to have funds that are specific to their education interests and will allow them to graduate with less debt. Now, the new approach to funding has and is still being discussed among the nation. There was a recent study by Michael Greenstone. I'm not sure if anyone heard of Michael Greenstone, but he's director of the Hamilton Project. He has conducted recent studies on funding higher education or recent studies on financial aid. He states that despite the different structures or target populations, costs, and outcomes associated with these assorted policies, they have all had the same fundamental goal, and that's getting more kids to college, helping them stay there, and promoting better opportunities for lifetime earnings, especially when it comes to funding college. So that's a big deal, and that's a big study. I actually have been reading and following that study for a very long time. So we're getting some information around that study to help us tackle our enrollment or our financial aid situation here at the university. Now, as policymakers tackle the important issues of the college access, the range of interventions offered by many cost-effective solutions that go beyond simply increasing college access, but making it affordable for students. That is our goal, and that's my goal as Chief Financial Officer, to make sure that college is affordable for students. Some students don't know what's available to them, so that's our job as policyholders and university staff and academic advisors and financial aid advisors to really let our students know that they can afford it with aid. You don't have to pay for it out of pocket. That's what these funds are for. Now, now we are coming up with new innovative policies that aim to expand the range of college opportunities that are available to students from different cultures as well as international students. Now, we are looking forward to moving in this new direction at Anytown University. As of right now, this new approach is in the proposal stages, so the decisions are not final. However, we are hopeful that this new approach will increase our student enrollment and expand the university in general. Now, as the Chief of Financial Officer, I will do everything in my power to make sure that all stakeholders are aware of these changes, as well as prepare a plan that will benefit the university in the future. Now, if you're looking for more information, please feel free to reach out to me at aAustin@anytownu.edu, or you can call me at Anytown University's Administrative Building at 313-255-3455. Thank you for listening to this broadcast for my doctoral study, and I hope that you have a good night. I'll see you later. Bye.